I am Christer Idhammar, the founder of IDCon Inc. in Raleigh, North Carolina. And today I'd like to talk about what KPI or key performance indicator to use when. And now I'm going to talk about the leading indicators, as we know that if we just perform the leading indicators better and better, the results will come. So we distinguish between leading and lagging indicators, and here I talk about the leading indicators. Well, what key performance indicator you should use depends on in which phase your organization is. That means, are you in a reactive organization, or are you in a transition between reactive to more controlled and continuously improving organization? And depending on in which of these phases you are, you should use different key performance indicators, because you use these indicators to drive performance, to drive improvements. So if you are in the reactive situation, your workload will change very much day to day. Sometimes you have peaks and you can't manage all the work, so you have to drop some and you add on jobs on a short notice. And that means that there is a gap between the available people you have and the work you have to accomplish that day. And other days you might have the opposite. You actually have people more than the workload is, and you are in a system out of control. That's a reactive situation. In the transition, you might have said, we're going to start doing our preventive maintenance inspections better and better and better. We're going to train our people in the basic methods you can use to do these inspections, and we also shall see to that all of them are actually being done, and that we also do our vibration and our thermal vision controls and so forth, the way we have scheduled them to be done. When you're over that period, which might last anything from 1 to up to maximum 6 months, and during that time you will have an increased workload and an increased budget. Could very well happen. But after that, you will come to the controlled and improving situation, and that's when you are having the right number of people to match the workload you have, and you can change over more and more to do continuous improvement. So if you are then in the reactive situation, I would suggest that you start by looking at the priorities. How are the priorities set? Don't over prioritize. Don't use a lot of emotional priorities, etc. So measure that. How many add-on jobs do you have? How many are priority one that shouldn't be priority one? And you work on these so you get your priorities right. And you measure how much break-in work do we have. That is work coming up on a very short notice. And you work on why is that, and you see to you eliminate that. When you've done that, your system becomes a little more in control. And you have implemented or re-implemented, or you have improved your preventive maintenance. So now you can actually measure the PM compliance. Do we actually do the PM we said we were going to do? And in my opinion, that should be 100%. I know that's tough to accomplish, but I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be. You look at schedule compliance, because now you have a schedule set perhaps at 11 o'clock before the day you're going to execute it on daily work, and a week before, or 2 weeks before, or 3 weeks before for your shutdowns. And you measure compliance of the schedule. You also do justification of the findings you have done in preventive maintenance. So if you find some very early failures, make a record of them and show how much that would save if you hadn't found it. And now you found the failure early, you could plan a schedule for the correction of it. How much did you save there in both repair costs and also in shutdown or lost production, etc. I think that's necessary to do, because you have here an organization where you see a lot of people doing preventive maintenance inspections, and they don't see the results immediately, and you need to market yourself and do that by the cost avoidance reports. We have examples of those if you're interested in learning more about that. then you will soon see that you are in a more controlled and improving situation. And that's when you should start working on, okay, in the schedules, how much of the work are actually planned to the level we say it should be. How is time used? Is it on continuous improvement, reactive maintenance, or is it in unplanned schedule, etc., etc.? That's another good indicator. And also vibration analysis trend is another one that is very, very good. Because the fact is that you should measure leading indicators as close to execution as you can. A good example is a trend of average vibration level. And as you see in the next slide, that is an example I got from Buckeye Cellulose, from the CEO, John Crow, and they measure that as an inch per second. And you can see how it went from 0.25 many years ago, and it's now at a world class below 1.1. And it has also improved than the results indicators like uptime and many other things. And what do we do to accomplish that? Well, you have to look at design, alignment, balancing, operating practices, and also storage of how you keep your equipment, you rotate it and so forth. So it's pretty hands-on that people can understand that this is something we can have an impact on. And another example on the importance of the vibration level is an example I got from Ralph Bascarello from Uptime International in Denver many years ago. He has passed away now, and he was a very good friend of mine. You see there that depending on the highest IPS to the lowest IPS, the total difference in these examples is $69,000. So measure the leading indicators as close to the people who can have an impact on them as possible. If you, for example, say to a group of vibration techs that your mission is not only to find components with a high vibration level, it is to continuously reduce the average vibration level. That will drive a different performance or a different activities from these people. Thank you very much.